Hi, I tried to restart the video after we took our score tape off and it wouldn't let me. So I had to make a new video and I apologize. So you should have all your score tape off. Now let's go ahead and let's start folding. What I do is I bend my bottom up. Kind of help me with the folding and soften it. Now you have your 1/2 inch. If you used 1/2 inch, you know, you can use for a 1/4 inch too. It didn't have to be the 1/2 inch. It's just, I have it, so I'm using it. Now, you're going to work it over. And this is where the beauty of it is. You're like, oh my gosh, we had such a jagged edge. Well, that jagged edge is now hidden. I love using these recycled boxes. So let's go ahead with our side here and let's get that pushed down. Now, let's go to our opposite long end. Let's get that pushed up. You know, I start in the middle. Just like I mentioned before, that's just kind of how I do it. Start with my middle piece now. Bone folder. And really push. Really get that down. But do not use this edge or you will rip or tear on the edge of the box. Okay, now we're going to start with the end where I didn't cut it too short. So I'm going to put it up here. We've already pushed our little corners in. Now you're going to kind of want to work them a little bit too. And again, I am pulling on my paper because you want to make sure you get it around this edge. Now, those came together really nice. I'm really happy with how those came together. My other end, because I did cut this one too short, it's not going to come together as nice, but that's going to be okay. Now, I'm going to take the bone folder on here. It just means that when I make this album, and wait a minute, let me back, because even though there's a mistake, I'm not going to get rid of this album because we've put a lot of work into this album. But it means now I get to use decorative corners or I get to use my imagination and really figure something else out. Now remember, we put score tape down between here, so now we're going to crease and we're going to fold it up. And we're going to have, look at that. Look at your album cover you've made. I think they are awesome. Now here's the beauty with these. Because we did not cover it in a paper that, of your paper line that you've chosen, maybe you want to just make a bunch of these to have on hand and you'd have your album covers ready. See how nice they are? This cardstock is from the craft cardstock. This is the Hobby Lobby's and it's the strongest that I have found. Okay, now we have our inside. You're going to see mine looks like it's up a little bit higher. This was a little different piece of a box, and it's okay. It's still going to work. So now we've got this inside cover, and you're thinking, I do not want the U.S. Postal Service on my box. So let's go ahead and grab some more cardstock. You're going to need probably 3 more pieces of your 12 by 12. And I'm sorry, I had to go grab mine. I did forget to grab it. So let's measure the inside of our album. The inside of our album should be the 10.5. So let's go ahead and cut our cardstock. Now, it's not going to be exact science. I can tell you right now, the inside is going to be a little bit smaller, so you're going to be doing some more cutting. Wow. It's not bad, not off at all, hardly. So I am going to take a little bit more off. And we're going to lay it back down. Yep, I like that. Now let's take our other piece of cardstock. Oh, the nice thing is we're going to get it by with using just 2 pieces. I'm going to put these together so that I have them both the same. I'm going to make a line where I need to cut it. And I forgot to change my blade, but I'm surprised it's working so well after cutting our boards. Okay, so we've got a piece like this. And then this will cover the other side. Now that's my bad corner I talked about. I am going to be able to cover some of it up, but I definitely am going to have to use corners on this album, which is okay. Let me see if I've got one handy. I do. I have one handy. So what will happen is you really don't see it on the front. It is on the back, but once I put my corner, I'll put my corner on, and with the paper there, see, it's going to hide it and it's going to protect it. So even if you cut that corner too short like I did, it's not a disaster. So let's go ahead and get tape. Now let me show you something. You don't want tape in here, So I'm going to go ahead and mark on my paper. I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of an indent so I know where not to put the tape, because I want to make sure when I lay my paper down it's not going to be on the tape. So let's go ahead, grab whatever size score tape you like to use. I am using the 3/8, covers a little more area. Okay, actually let me start here. Now again, I am just eyeballing. I am eyeballing this edge of where I'm putting my score tape. If you want to mark it with your paper, you go right ahead. Most of the time, it covers it pretty well. So, now, like I mentioned before, this is just the tedious part of making your album. Sometimes I actually enjoy it. But I get excited and I want to get those pages decorated. Now, once again, I'm not going to cover my whole thing and plaster it. I don't really see the need in that. So let's go ahead and put strips on each side of there. I'm going to put one in the middle here. One right down the middle. And we'll just kind of continue here. I do have to turn this album. I have to admit, it's fun though. Working on a big album like this, I cannot wait to see how everybody gets theirs decorated. So if you are making this 10 by 10 album and you do get it decorated and you happen to be on my Facebook page, Country Craft Creations, or if you want to come over to Mini Album Swap some more, it's such a fun site where you can share all your work and also lots of swaps if you're looking for swaps. Share what you've made, because I would love to see how your 10 by 10 turns out. I mentioned before, mine is actually going to be Christmas as soon as Graphic 45. I should be picking up their a night before Christmas paper soon, and I cannot wait to get this album put together now. Okay.